Hey, what's up? This is Seafood Cuddle and I'm back at you with another Kung Fu combination. Now for this combination we're going to be using a broadsword. So go ahead and grab your own and we'll get started. Now, before we get to the movements, I know I get a lot of questions all the time about what sword do I use, other things too about like the springiness of the blade. So finding a good Chinese broadsword is not that easy. You either have you can go from the cheap swords that usually fall apart to very, very custom, expensive swords that are typically for decoration and kind of off balance, and it's kind of tough to find something in the middle ground. So usually what I do is I just suggest that students get something that is more of spring steel for their broadswords, because the carbon steel or the chrome steel is alright, those are firmer blades, but they tend to be the ones that are too heavy for students when they're first learning the sword, and they tend to be a little bit more off balance, which you can work into, it's no problem, but you don't want to stress your wrist and worry about injury when you're trying to train. Wushu blades, they're a lot more flimsy, they have that absolute spring and wiggle, and that's good as a training style, and I will have videos for that as well in the future. But to go with it, this is a Long Chuan blade. If you look it up, it's spelled L-O-N-G. Sometimes they have C-H-U-A-N, or sometimes it's Q-U-A-N. So it's Long Chuan, like Dragon Well or Dragon Forge. And they tend to make the most middle ground blades that I like to use in training, and they also have a really expensive custom line that they do. Okay, so with that said, let's get to work. Now, for this combination, we're going to start from a cat stance position, and we're going to have the blade pointing forward, and then we have a matching sword hand. Now, we don't use the straight sword or the jian or the gim, so we're not going to do this style. We're going to have this hand just like a big blade, like a broadsword blade. So we're going to be pressing forward, hand back by the knee, okay? Now from here, I'm going to cut to my arm, bring it over my head, and then step out for an uppercut. Now, the uppercut, I do not want to bring my hand higher than my eyes or my nose, and also think of using this to cut the inside of the leg, the groin, and then up underneath the armpits at highest. So you don't have to go all the way up here for your uppercut. Okay, so again, starting from this position, I cut to the arm around the head, and then I'm going to step out. Now, from here, I'm going to cut back behind my head, go around, I'm going to step away and press, and then I'm going to follow up with a downward chop. Okay? Now, going from this angle, for my first position, I'm going to cut over the head, come up with that uppercut, back, around the head, I'm changing my focus, stepping back and pressing forward, and then I'm going to follow up with a chop downward. Okay? From this angle, I'm going to step. So first cut, then step, cut, go around the head, press forward, making sure again next to the knee, and then that following up with that chop down. Okay? So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Ending up with that blade pretty much level. Alright? Check it out, feel free to take your time, work with this, explore the techniques. In application, there's a lot to do with pressing in. This is an assisted slice for up close, but you can also use it just to clear the blade and make sure that you have distance. Sometimes you could use this to push someone back for that next strike. Okay? If you enjoyed this combination, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe and check out my Patreon. A lot of applications, a lot of in-depth training there too. Alright? Till next time, this is Seafood Cuddle.
Bam! Fist with a footwork.